Hey guys, Curtis here with you today. Today I'm going to go over kind of a little comparison here between these two different nail clipper sets here. I believe they're both a set. Let's see, this one definitely is. It says on their FACEMADE nail clipper set 2-pack. Going over here to this one, I'm not sure I pronounced that. HAWATOUR maybe? You know, your guess probably better than mine on how you pronounce that. But there's that one, and in the back, I do believe it says a set. Nail clipper set, yep. All right, so let's open these up and see what they look like. So first thing to point out on this one, this does come in this kind of cool little tin can here. So kind of you can use that for something else later on if you wanted to, or obviously you can store the clippers in there like they're recommending, to be my guess. But kind of cool that it comes with something. You can definitely store whatever in there. But let me get that trash out of the way. All right, so opening this up, that's what it looks like here. So you see it did come with this kind of cool little kind of styrofoam holder here that it's sitting in. And well, actually, let me go and open up the other one so we can go ahead and look at them at the same time. So going into this one, let's see, I'll open it up. I have a terrible time opening these. I mean, they put the little thumb or finger spot in there, but I can never get them out. So I always got to keep a pair of scissors around just to pry this stuff open. But pops right open there. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. But let's see what's inside of this. So here, looks like we're going to have the same little aluminum. See, I'm pronouncing that wrong too. But here's what we have first. Comes this little bag. Let me actually go and put this off to the side too. All right, so again, we have a similar tin can material, similar size for the most part. This one's maybe a hair smaller, but it's also a little bit thicker. All right, so opening this up, we have a similar thing going on. We have the little styrofoam in there. This one, we have the styrofoam. Again, they, for whatever reason, they kind of face them differently. And that could also be why this one's a little bit thicker. Maybe they set that down in there differently. All right, but both of them, you are having the smaller one and the bigger one. I always think of the small one is for your fingernails and the bigger one for your toenails. All right, so got them both out. So this, the one in my right hand over here is the FACEMADE one in the black package. The one in my left hand is the, however you pronounce that name here. But that we kind of know which ones we're comparing here. As close as you can kind of see. All right, so going over this one first. So first, the actual weight of it. This thing is almost oddly heavy, and I don't mean that in a negative way. You know, the heavier something is, generally speaking, the little bit better quality it's going to be. But this thing is oddly heavy, which makes me immediately think it's going to be a pretty good quality product. The actual part here, again, that is very, very thick. I mean, that's where I guess a lot of the weight's coming from. And they did sneak a nail file on here. That should just be a sticker, if I can get that off. Yeah, I think there is a sticker. I'm not going to spend 5 minutes trying to peel that off. But that is like a little sticker over here. So underneath that should be your nail file. So that's kind of snuck in there in a neat way. The actual part here, pretty straightforward. You know, looks like your standard kind of nail clippers. Whenever you swivel this around, you do have a slight little groove right here. That way your finger can fit in there nicely to grab. And that kind of prevents this finger from sliding all over the place. So my only critique on this would be maybe to put this bump a hair closer, which would actually kind of hurt this part here. But the reason I feel like that bump should be slightly moved, whenever I'm clipping, well, maybe not. No, I take that back. Yeah, because I do hold it like this. Yeah, I put my thumb on the top, so that's perfect. Yeah, that's a great design then. I 100% approve of that. So thumb goes right in there. Your other fingers go on the bottom. So that allows you to grip perfectly. So fantastic. All right. Going over here to compare the other one. As far as the weight difference, there's a substantial difference in weight. This one is quite a bit lighter than this, which again doesn't mean anything bad necessarily, but just something to point out. This is lighter. And this also has the little file built into it. So I thought maybe that's why this was so thick. Maybe that was to support that file, but this has the same thing, but it's not as thick. And you can also see the handle itself opens up significantly more. Put these side by side. You can kind of see there. So this one here, a lot taller grip, which if you have smaller hands, that may actually pose an issue. So something to keep in mind. But the actual grip itself is kind of the same. They did put that small little bump here, and they did make this one wider. This is actually what I was thinking earlier on the other one, is if you put 2 fingers here, that allows more room to grip. Whereas I generally hold mine like this, so it wouldn't matter. But that does give you a better option as far as if you do want to hold it this way, you can easily fit both fingers above that little bump. And if you want to hold it this way, again, it's not going to pose an issue. But again, this is a little bit taller. Again, I don't think that's going to be a problem for most people. But again, if you do have oddly small hands, that could pose an issue. But all right, let's look at the front of it here. Oh, here's another difference. So on this one here, again, this is the one in the black container here. That is curved. So whenever you look at it, I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick that up. Hopefully it will. But there's a curve here. So whenever you cut your nails, whether it's fingernails, toenails, that's going to kind of naturally form to your nails a hair. This one over here, on the other hand, is flat. So that's going to require, at least in my opinion, a little bit more effort to try to mold your, kind of cut your nail to the right shape. But then again, it also gives you a little bit more options. So if you're a skilled nail trimmer, you can kind of shape a nail a little bit easier probably with this. But for me, I would actually prefer the little bit curved one. But there it is. There's the difference here. And I'm just going to spend a few seconds on the other ones because I'm assuming it's going to be the same, just smaller. But going into this one here, the exact same thing, just smaller than the other one. Also has the exact same file. Let's get this one out. Again, it looks identical to the other one, just smaller. And this one does not have a file. So that's something to point out there. On this one over here, the small one has the file. On this one over here, the small one does not. So there's your differences, guys. So I hope somebody out there found this video useful. And thank you guys for watching.